High blood pressure is the silent killer that is causing untold harm to the health and well-being of yourself, your friends and your family. Medication is not the whole answer and not the only answer. Lifestyle changes, and especially dietary changes, can play a big part in lowering your blood pressure. In today's news update, I want to talk about how can I eat less salt to help lower my blood pressure. If you have any questions about this video, just call or text Healthy at 60 plus at 609-410-4790. Now let's see what we have today. The first thing most people do when they are told their blood pressure is high is to start taking medication. While this may seem like a quick fix, actually your diet is the most important factor towards lowering your blood pressure. Research has shown that limiting your sodium intake is the most important dietary step you can take in helping to lower blood pressure. Here are 7 tips to make the job much easier. 1. Read ingredient labels. A recent study shows that over 50% of Americans consume above recommended levels of sodium. So if you want to reduce your risk of hypertension, or prevent heart disease, eat more fresh foods and read ingredient labels to limit the amount of salt in your diet. 2. Reduce your use of processed foods. There is no shortage of studies proving that a diet full of processed foods is just a code word for junk. Processed foods are loaded with sugar, sodium, and fat, and they almost always lack nutritional value. All this adds up to a recipe for poor health. But it gets worse, because the more processed foods you eat, the more likely it is that your blood pressure will be elevated. It's hard to avoid processed foods entirely since they're so available and cheap in the United States, hence the term junk food epidemic. 3. Eat more vegetables. Vegetables are good for you, especially if you have high blood pressure. That's the main finding of an analysis of 26 clinical trials, examining the effects of vegetable consumption on blood pressure. And the study found that this reduction was independent of other dietary habits, such as salt consumption. 4. Eat more low-sodium sauces and condiments. A new study published by the CDC has found that people who eat more low-sodium condiments and sauces have a significantly lower risk of developing high blood pressure than those who consume large quantities of the full-sodium stuff. 5. Use herbs and spices to add flavor to food without salt. If salt raises your blood pressure, it makes logical sense to cut back on the salt shaker. There are several simple ways to reduce salt in your diet without using a single shaker. Herbs and spices are abundant seasonings that add zest and flavor to dishes without adding sodium. Here are some herbs and spices that can cut down on salt as well as lower blood pressure. Classic basil, bay leaf, cayenne, celery seed, chili powder, cinnamon, cloves, cumin, garlic powder, ginger, mince, peppermint, spearmint, mustard powder, onion powder, oregano, parsley, rosemary, sage and thyme. 6. Drink lots of water. Did you know that you can reduce salt intake by drinking plenty of water? Researchers have found that increasing your water intake will help reduce salt in your body. It turns out that water is a critical component of blood volume, and having too little of it in your muscles can cause them to retain salt. 7. Limit processed meats, bacon, sausage, hot dogs and luncheon meats. Processed meats, such as bacon, sausage, hot dogs and luncheon meats like ham and bologna, are bad news for your cardiovascular health. New research finds that consuming even small amounts of these foods can raise your risk of heart disease and death from heart disease. Essentially, eating processed meats increases the level of bad cholesterol, LDL, while lowering good cholesterol, HDL. 1 serving of hot dogs, luncheon meats, processed meats and bacon have about the same amount of salt as your daily requirement for sodium. Limit eating foods like these to reduce your intake by half. The hardest part of lowering your sodium intake is starting. Get started by setting a daily goal. Once you do, check back daily and set new goals. This will keep you motivated by giving you a measurable goal to work toward. Okay, that's it for this video. But just one more thing. If you have any questions about this video, just call or text Healthy at 60 plus at 609-410-4790. Remember, there are many ways to deal with high blood pressure. At Healthy at 60 plus we have a preferred method called nitric oxide therapy. Click the link below this video to see a great explanation of nitric oxide therapy and how it can change your life. To be informed of new videos, just subscribe to this channel, and remember to click the bell icon. To view other videos about this same topic, just click on either of these 2 video links. I want to thank you for stopping by today and watching this video. Have a great day, and here's to your good health.